All right, today we're going to go on a journey that goes way beyond the yoga mat, deep into the heart of what yoga really is. We're going to explore Ashtanga Yoga, as laid out by the ancient sage Patanjali, a powerful system designed not just for your body, but for mastering your mind.
So let me ask you, when you hear the word yoga, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For a lot of us, it's probably images of sweaty, complex poses, right? It's basically become a synonym for fitness. But is that all there is to it? Is that really what it was all about in the first place?
Well, to find the real answer, we have to go straight to the source. And the Yoga Sutras, put together by Patanjali, give us this incredibly deep definition right at the very beginning. Yoga, he says, is about stopping the constant chatter, the endless fluctuations of our own minds. It was never about perfecting a handstand. So right there, that completely reframes the whole practice, doesn't it? The physical poses that we know so well, they're really just one tiny piece of a much bigger, much more profound project, the journey toward inner peace and self-realization. So the goals here are pretty huge. We're talking about gaining control over the mind, what's called chitta vritti nirodha. We're talking about spiritual liberation, or moksha, and ultimately learning to see who we really are, separate from all the things we get attached to. The cool thing is, Patanjali gives us a clear roadmap to get there. So here's our plan. We'll start by locking in yoga's true purpose, then we'll walk through the eight-limbed path itself, from building our outer foundation to crossing that bridge to our inner world, and finally, we'll see how this ancient path is, believe it or not, more relevant than ever. And that roadmap? It's called Ashtanga Yoga. The best way to think of it is as a systematic, step-by-step guide. It's designed to take you from wherever you are right now to that state of inner clarity and true freedom. You know, the name itself tells you everything you need to know. In Sanskrit, Ashta means 8, and Anga means limbs or parts. So Ashtanga Yoga literally means the 8-limbed path. And these aren't 8 different types of yoga. They're 8 interconnected parts of one single holistic practice. And the path is designed to be progressive. You see, it starts with our external world, how we act, our body, and then it gradually moves deeper and deeper inward, all the way to the most subtle parts of our consciousness. It's really a complete package for human development. So logically, a journey like this has to start on the outside, right? That's what the first 4 limbs are all about. These are the practices that shape our behavior, our self-discipline, our body, and our energy. They build the solid foundation you absolutely need before you can do the deep inner work. The first 2 limbs, the Yamas and Niyamas, are kind of like the roots and the trunk of the whole yoga tree. And this idea is so important. Without a strong ethical foundation, the rest of the practice it can't grow. It has nothing to stand on. Now, the easiest way to think about these is as the don'ts and the do's. The Yamas are the don'ts, 5 restraints that guide how we treat other people and the world around us. And the Niyamas are the do's, 5 personal practices for building inner strength and discipline. And here's a closer look. The Yamas include big ones like nonviolence and truthfulness. The Niyamas include things like cleanliness, contentment, and self-study. Now, these aren't just a list of boring rules. They're practices that actually purify our actions and our thoughts, creating the kind of mental clarity we need for what comes next. Okay, next up is the 3rd limb, Asana, or postures. And for most of us, this is a huge paradigm shift from how we view yoga today. For Patanjali, asana isn't about pulling off a crazy pose for a photo. Its entire purpose is to create a steady, comfortable body so that the mind can become still for meditation. That's it. The 4th limb is pranayama, which is all about controlling our prana, our vital life force, through our breath. By consciously working with the 3 parts of the breath, the inhale, the hold, and the exhale, we actually learn how to calm our nervous system and steady our own energy. All right, so once that outer foundation is stable, we come to a really critical turning point in the path. This is the 5th limb, Pratyahara, and it acts like a bridge that connects our outer practices with our deep inner journey.
So what is Pratyahara? It's the conscious withdrawal of our energy and our attention from the outside world. It's about learning to not be yanked around by every little sight, sound, or smell, and instead intentionally directing our focus inward. And this is why it's so vital. It literally pivots us away from the bahiranga, the external stuff like posture and breath, and gets us ready for the antaranga, the really deep internal practices of meditation.
So, we've crossed the bridge. Now we can begin the final and most subtle stage of the journey. These last three limbs, they all work together. They form this beautiful inner trilogy that is focused entirely on mastering the mind.
And this path of meditation builds on itself, one step at a time. It starts with Dharana. That's concentration. Training the mind to just hold its focus on one thing, like your breath. When that focus becomes effortless, it just naturally flows into Dhyana. That's a state of real meditation, an uninterrupted flow of awareness. And the culmination of all this? That's Samadhi, a state of complete absorption where the ego just dissolves, and there's no difference between you and what you're meditating on. It's an experience of total unity.
So, an ancient path to enlightenment. What on earth does that have to do with our busy, chaotic modern lives? Well, as it turns out, everything. This ancient system is maybe more relevant now than it has ever been. I mean, the practical benefits are just immense. This path gives you real tools to manage stress and anxiety, to dramatically improve your focus in a world full of distractions, to live a more ethical and meaningful life, and to build deep emotional stability. It is a time-tested system for holistic well-being. So at the end of the day, Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga is so much more than a workout. It's a complete and practical guide for integrating every single part of who we are, all designed to create a lasting harmony between our body, our mind, and our deepest self.
And that leaves us with a final question for you. This path, it's not an all or nothing deal. It starts with just one small step. So looking at these 8 limbs, from simply being truthful to finding contentment to just sitting still for a minute, which one could you bring into your life right now, today?